Hello, friends, and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily cringe content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Thank you so much. Today we're jumping back into r/Neckbeard stories, continuing the tale of FYREDRAKE and his winter ball, his lie to all of his friends to make them think that he had a girlfriend. Not just any girlfriend, but like the hottest chick in school is gonna go to the dance with him, which of course is just flat out untrue, and now he has to either wind it back or figure out a way to somehow make it come true. It is just some good old-fashioned grade school shenanigans like we used to get up to. It's a blast to the past for me, honestly. So I do appreciate FYREDRAKE sitting down, sharing his beard story, and I know there's going to be a happy ending because FYREDRAKE, he's grown up now, and he's such a beautiful person. Honestly, we are live streaming this on Twitch as usual. If you'd like to come through, I'd appreciate it. We'll go ahead and get some additional plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will dive right into some of this r/Neckbeard stories. Cringe. This is my beard story, part 2. By FYREDRAKE. See, he's going with that mommy honker donker's naming shenanigan, right? Where you don't really get a subtitle. You don't know what's gonna happen in the story, but that kind of entices me a little bit more sometimes. I'm like, ooh, we're going in blind. You know that I like that. Hello, once again, lovely people. After writing the first part of what in my mind has become a Neckbeard autobiography, or beardography for short. He's sticking with the branding. I gotta give him some props for that. I appreciate it. I found the catharsis of the situation outweighing the fear of judgment and embarrassment. We're a pretty welcoming community. We're pretty understanding around here. Every once in a while, egos get out of control, and I will take it upon myself to pop said ego, but FYREDRAKE, I don't think has that problem, so you're pretty safe. And so, like a junkie chasing his next fix, I am writing again. Oh, not again, FYREDRAKE! We've been over this before! You have to stop writing! No, please, never stop writing. I take it back immediately. Also, a big thanks to my friends over at ReddX Industries for their understanding and support. And of course to the man, ReddX himself, for instilling me with the power of cringical thinking. Wow, you're just coming up with some diamonds. Cringical thinking? Yeah, I'm gonna store that one in my toolbox for later. Beardography, it was okay. I wasn't that into it, but cringical thinking, yeah, that resonates with me for some reason. You can find his amazing Reddit readings here, youtube.com/ReddXY. Also, as this is part 2, you can also find part 1 over here, and that link is in the description if you missed it. Anywho, we all know what you're here for, so let's go ahead and get it started. Be warned though, the happenings written of below contain mentions of violence, animal dissection, and self-pleasure. Not all in the same paragraph. Come on. Yeah, that makes it sound a lot worse than it would otherwise, right? Violence, animal dissection, self-pleasure. God. I'm not ready for that story. But in all seriousness, if any of those things are triggering for you, I would gently suggest skipping this article, or video, or what have you. We have our cast list. Is it the same? Yes, the Proto-Chad looks rather the same, but a prime example of his behavior can be found in today's installment. We've also got Bear. Oh, that's a new cast member. Every villain needs a minion, right? Or preferably an army of minions. And they run around and they say banana. Aren't they so fun and quirky?
Banana.
Aren't they the perfect conveyance device for any message that you want to say if you're a 30-year-old single mother on Facebook? Sorry, not sorry. What is there to say about Bear the Minion, but that he was the literal personification of a juvenile grizzly? This brute was my height, half again my weight, and his hands were the type that could squeeze blood out of a granite slab just by gripping one end. They looked like mutated hams when they were balled into fists. He followed Proto Chad around like a bodyguard. Hell, maybe he was. I wouldn't put it past the arrogant little dude to hire one. I mean, if it was a real Chad, then he wouldn't need a bodyguard, right? The real Chads take care of their own business. But yeah, maybe he hasn't figured that one out. And if worse comes to worse, I guess it is good to have a little bit of backup, especially if he is a genetic mutant, like this bear person. Ouija, yeah, he's the weird one. OP, that's FYREDRAEKE. He's still relatively weird as well. He's gotten better, though. That's what I do know. And I guess that's all we get today. So good. Just one new character to remember. I think we can handle that, okay? So, where were we? Ah, yes. I had just written a social check with my jealousy-fueled mouth and was now at a loss as to how my sweaty ass was going to cover it. I mean, I can't even feel bad for you. You chose this path. You did this to yourself. And I think we've all been there at one point or another, which is why I love this saga so dang much. I used to be one of these little liar boys who go out there just trying to impress somebody. I had also stormed out of the library, which acted as our nerd sanctuary. I was out in the open, exposed, alone, basically jock fodder. Yeah, I understand why you had to retreat, but I think a physical bruising is a little bit worse than an ego bruising. But you made your choice. Again, you take your pick. It's gonna be fine, relatively. You didn't die. I know that much. I had to find a place to hide for the 15 minutes left in our lunch period, or I would find myself targeted. I hustled down the hallway and ducked into the bathroom, slamming through the door and pushing against the stall doors to find an opening. God, this is why I'm so glad I bucked hard, man. I never had to worry about getting punked or bullied or anything like that. I still say with your size, FYREDRAKE, you should have been about 10 times meaner, alright? Bit somebody's nose off and chewed it up and spit it back in their eyes. Nobody's gonna mess with you ever again. Hiding in the bathroom. God damn! I hope my son never has to hide in the bathroom. I'm gonna teach him to do a donkey kick, a flying monkey back fist. Yeah, why not? Whatever. Luckily, my first attempt was met with success. I shoved myself inward while simultaneously dropping my backpack so I could turn comfortably within the confined space. I hung my backpack by its top loop onto the hook mounted in the stall door, and then I did the no-tank squat on the toilet rim. For those of you who may not have had to use this particular bathroom stall pose, the no-tank squat is when you place a foot on each side of the toilet's rim, then bend at the knee so you're squatting over the bowl. Our school's toilets were the tankless variety, with only a silver-capped pipe protruding from the back that had a lever that you could kick or pull or whatever to flush it. This pose allowed one to create the illusion of the stall being unoccupied to the casual observer. It also opened up certain options like 1, catch your breath, 2, cry, 3, rub one out. I mean, if the mood strikes you. You can even do all of the above at once in whatever order you desired. We'll probably cry for the lubrication and then you rub it out and try to catch your breath. There you go. Puzzled that one out immediately. You're welcome. But yeah, I don't understand why you wouldn't just keep your feet down. This pose seems exceptionally uncomfortable. The one advantage to it is that you can kick somebody in the chest if they're gonna come at you in the stall, right? Start stomping on some necks. Yeah, that's big brain time. But I don't know, why hide? I guess if you're sitting there with your pants still up, it seems a little bit weird, but whatever, I do what I want. After about 10 minutes of all but the third option for me, not that the sweet release wouldn't have been welcomed. Yeah, you get nervous, you're having a hard time in life, rub one out. It's gonna be fine. I can't say that I haven't been there at certain points. I cautiously disembarked from my porcelain pedestal, taking a more comfortable stance, standing next to my hanging backpack. I took stock of my current physical condition. Heart rate slowing, check. All body parts present and in working order, check. Okay, clothes. Shirt status soaked, check. Commence Operation Switch Tops. Operation Switch Tops seems like a rather safe thing to do. And yeah, you have to do it because people are going to point it out when you're sweaty. Every single time. I should know. I live in the Philippines. I get very sweaty on stream and people come in and they're like, "Hey, Red, you looking kind of moist." And I'm like, "Thanks, bro." Like I didn't know already. But we have a good laugh. We have a good laugh. And then I ban them. No, that's not true. I opened up the main pouch of my pack and pulled out a Ziploc bag containing another Big Dog graphic tee, clean and dry, and also a small towel. I removed my sodden upper layer, tossing it over the sidewall of the stall to hang with a wet smack as it folded over and hit the opposite side of the stall. Oh, you really wet. That is beyond damp, beyond moist even. You soaking. What happened, bro? This doesn't even seem like hot sweat. This seems like a nervous sweat. That's the stinky kind of sweat. I guess that's why he makes with the Ziploc bag, right? You let one of those shirts roll around in your backpack for a while, that backpack ain't good no more. It was then that I was hit with a wave of nausea as the full force of my sweating, unwashed beard body hit my olfactory nerves, causing me to gag on my own stench. Oh, it's really that bad? I guess that's why FYREDRAEKE's no longer a beard, right? He couldn't stand his own smell for that much longer. I don't think my own stench has ever made me gag. It's been pretty ripe some days, and I acknowledge it, but everybody loves their own brand, don't they? Yep, it was that time of the month. A shower event would need to be undertaken. Yeah, once a month, whether I need it or not. I do feel it. Unfortunately, I was a stinky boy myself. I quickly wiped myself down as best I could with the towel, and then hastily donned the new t-shirt. Grabbing the damp towel, I gave it one more sniff to make absolutely certain of the necessity to bathe this evening. Oh, God. Necessity confirmed. I mean, I understand that too. You just want to get one more whiff. You're like, hey, is it really that bad? It's always that bad. If you're asking yourself the question, just accept that it's that bad. I took the nose-offending towel along with my sweat-soaked shirt and shoved them both into the plastic bag. Well, if nothing else, FYREDRAEKE is like exceedingly prepared, is he not? I don't think I ever did this. I had more than a little difficulty resealing the yellow and blue make green top to preserve the horrific odor within and not infect my backpack with its all-consuming taint. I sighed with relief even as the armpits of my fresh t-shirt began to get damp. It's a never-ending cycle. You gotta end this vicious cycle. Somehow, some way. It ends tonight in the showers. For at least a month, I guess. Okay, shower and antiperspirant. Yeah, hormones are raging, bro. You gotta take care of that. I lifted the backpack off the hook and pulled the stall door just as the bell rang. Lunch was over. Whew, thank the fates. I walked to the door and pulled it open, turning the corner to head to my next class. Can't really remember if it was band or history. only to run nose to nose into the bestial visage of one of the other big kids in my grade. It was Bear. We both flinched slightly at the near collision, but Bear, ever the tough guy, recovered quicker and stepped in close to me again. You know, in the, I'm a badass, you want to fight about it? Type of gesture, where the guy is like an inch from his opponent. Like if he were any closer, he'd be kissing him? Yeah, just like that. That's when you deliver a headbutt to the bridge of the nose. The round part of your head, yeah, just smash that into the bridge of his nose, and he's not gonna do this again. We will have learned a hard lesson this day. Worst comes to worst, they suspend you, you get a week off school. Piece of cake. Let's hand out some learning. But instead, our OP leans backwards without actually stepping back, which would have signaled to this budding alpha male that I was afraid. I wasn't afraid. Not really. Well, maybe I was, but I was gonna do my dangest not to show it. At least, you know, not very much. I can imagine being intimidated by somebody bigger than you, especially when you're already a big person. Like, I don't encounter people that are bigger than me very often, but when I do, yeah, it could be terrifying if we're about to have a fight. I'm used to having the size advantage. But OP just says, "Hey there, Bear," I said softly, the now crowded hallway drowning out my greeting. Bear said nothing. Just stood there, glaring at me, menacingly. "Hello, OP," came a voice from below, or rather behind Bear. "I thought I smelled raw sewage. It's me, Party Demon. Whoa!" You don't always have to introduce yourself like that, Party Demon. It's gonna be fine. We know who you are by now. Bear stepped aside to reveal the golden hair and blue eyes of Party Proto-Chad. He only reached my shoulders in terms of height, but like many small, vicious reptiles, his bite held deadly venom. He stared up at me, his chiseled features as cold as a marble statue. I looked down at him, feeling the cold grip of terror as he began to berate me in true, "I can say whatever I want to you and you can't do anything about it because my dad's rich and will totally sue your dad into the dirt" type of fashion. You think money matters? Oh yeah, it kind of does a little bit. But still maybe beat the crap out of him to show him, you know, it can't always save him. Your bank account didn't save you from my fist, did it? I honestly can't remember the specifics, but he definitely seemed to have a formula to his insult barrages. It went like this. Make fun of A, your looks, B, your hygiene, C, your ethnicity/background, D, your parents or lineage, E, your social status, F, your net worth, both financially and as a member of the human race, and wash and rinse and repeat. Bro, you're out here flexing your social status as a middle schooler. You are nobody at this point. You are essentially only presuming that you're special because you are your father's grown-up. Oh, I got shot out of a rich guy's. That makes me special. No, how about you prove your worth to humanity? The burden of proof is on you, not on me. I never said I was worth a goddamn thing, but you seem to think you're God's gift, so prove it. Just prove it. He was just about done wrapping up. I think it was with D, if I recall, and it was nearing the end of the 5-minute grace period before the next class. I just remember yelling, "I gotta go!" and trying to merge into the flow of students. I didn't have the time to spend placating his ego. I had my own ego to coddle. Yeah, Sonic says, gotta go fast. Can't be late to class. Problem with moving faster than light is that you'll always live in darkness. Whoa! It was at this point that I realized my critical mistake. As I passed his chadliness, he moved with his lightning-fast reflexes and kicked my back leg as I stepped, causing it to fly into the back of my right knee. God, man, I really want you to just thrash him super hard, but I know it's not gonna happen. Dear readers, you know what happened next. Crit on an attack of opportunity. I went down like a demolished building. My leg buckled, the right knee slamming into the linoleum of the hallway. My backpack, overloaded as it was, flew into the back of my head as I toppled. I hit the ground with a sickening squish as my right arm was crushed underneath the combined weight of body, backpack, and books. I heard loud snickers behind me as the pain caused a fresh torrent of tears. This has not been a good day for FYREDRAKE. He just got finished crying in the library, and now he's crying again. Alongside all that sweating, our boy's gonna be dehydrated in no time. You go get yourself a Gatorade before you keep crying, all right? You need to replenish yourself a little bit. It's probably not a good joke, but it is just that, FYREDRAKE, a joke. My heart does go out to you, okay? I just lay there, sobbing, afraid to try and get up, lest I see the looks of scorn and humor upon my classmates' faces as the yells of my piss soda nickname echoed throughout the hallway. Eventually, the bell rang again, and the sounds of footsteps and canned chatter faded. Honestly, I'm just astonished. I don't know how much one man could possibly take. When is the time for vengeance? Please say it is nigh. I implore you. Well, friends, it would be at this point in the story that you might think, screw that bully. OP didn't deserve that. You might be right. You might think, I would have totally plotted revenge, or at least told on him. And again, those would be the logical reactions. What did I think instead, you might ask? Well, my thoughts were pointed inwardly, taking on the narrative tone of the hit television show Dragon's Lair, which also became one of the first arcade video games with QuickTime button play. Cool, right? Yeah, I remember that. I think the arcade game was kind of impossible unless you already knew what to do. But it was like the first arcade game that wasn't all pixelated and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But OP's internal narrator says, having been eaten alive by the wild hairy fire goblins of Mount Charmisac, what should Dirk the Daring do now? Or, why do I have to be such a frickin' loser? Why did I have to get cursed with a fat, ugly sweat factory of a body? Why couldn't I have been born rich and good-looking like Proto-Chad? Poor me. Eats another bag of chips. See, there's your problem, all right? You're on the cusp of realization, but not willing to do what it takes to turn it all around. Rich and good-looking, that's overrated anyways. Just have a sense of humor. That's really all it takes for dudes, okay? You can have your pick of women if you just got a nice sense of humor. And I know FYREDRAKE does. And have you seen his girlfriend? He turned out all right. I'll say that much. Folks, looking back on all this, I can see the emotional brutality that was not only put on me through the actions of a bully, but also the torment that I put myself through. I really did feel sorry for myself. Pity party. Table for one. I needed help, but I didn't ask for it. Why not? Honestly, I don't even know. To this day, I can't really explain to you why I thought the way that I did, or why I made decisions the way that I did. Hormones? A steady diet of as much junk food as I could sneak into the house under my mother's watchful gaze? Alien probes? Yeah, probably all three. Honestly, children are really internally focused, especially once those hormones start hitting, they become teenagers. It's mostly about the social experience. You don't know who to reach out to because your friends are going to laugh at you. Your parents, you don't feel like you can trust them after a certain point. It is a very, very tough age to be. I don't blame you for not wanting to reach out and have somebody take care of these problems for you. But I can't for the life of me figure out why you wouldn't just swing on this kid. At least once. Even if you get completely thrashed afterwards, he'll respect you a bit more for it. He'll think twice before he comes and does this cutesy shit again. But all of this herein lies the real spark for what happened later at the winter ball. Spoilers? Good try. That's a good little cliffhanger right there. Keep us nice and hooked in. What did happen at the winter ball, FYREDRAEKE? You have to read on and find out. I have no idea how long I laid there in the hallway. It probably wasn't a long time, but just enough to where my right arm had started to become blissfully numb. You didn't break it, right? You just kind of skinned it or something like that? I'm gonna go ahead and assume the best about this situation. It was then that I heard footsteps coming down the hall towards me. I didn't look up. I didn't want to see pity in anyone's face. I expected the footsteps to continue right past me, but instead, they stopped at my feet. OP, are you okay? It was Ouija. I let out a deep sigh of relief that ended in a squeak of pain. Now that my arm was nice and numb, I had transferred awareness to my knee, which now felt bigger with each painful throb. Get up, son, walk it off. With the hydration thing, I totally sound like a sports ball coach, don't I? That's my backup career if YouTube falls through. I'm gonna be great at it. OP says, hey, Ouija. Yeah, I'm okay. I rolled onto my left side, using my good arm to lever myself into a sitting position. I saw Ouija standing over me, one arm half outstretched like he was going to offer it to me. I slapped his hand away. I'm not a girl, dude. I got it. Oh, look at that. That teenage denial of affection. That's so sad, honestly. Such a small gesture, and you couldn't even take that. Take his hand. Strengthen the bro friendship, would you? It took every bit of the strength left in my good leg to get back into a standing position, which we just stepped in to help me with anyways, despite my protests. I turned/limped to face him. Why are you out here? I grumbled. Well, they're dissecting a frog in science, and I kept seeing it, like, bleeding and stuff, and I'm not good with blood. His voice quivered a little bit as he said this, his face already going even paler, if that were even possible. I stared at him for a moment, and then I offered him some sage advice as a slow grin spread across my face. Don't be such a wuss, Ouija. I mean, they've been dead and frozen for a while. If they're gonna bleed, it'd be after they thawed out completely. By then, you'll have the organs out already. I'd be more worried about what's in their stomach and guts, man. Hell, maybe they'll make you squeeze the crap out of its intestines like a tube of toothpaste. Yeah, this is more of that hormone-addled denial of affection. I hate to sit here and play armchair psychologist, especially on events that have already passed, but not really a nice thing to do to a friend who just offered to help you up off the ground after you just finished crying. Maybe try not to act like, you know, hardcore and stuff like that, because you ain't fooling nobody. But OP does acknowledge as much and says, yeah, I know, I'm a well, I was just starting to lay into you for it, but since you acknowledged it, okay, we'll pump the brakes a little bit. Ouija looked like he was either going to faint or vomit, and either one would have made me perversely feel better about myself. I couldn't, he shuddered, looking back at me, and his demeanor suddenly shifted. Normally, Ouija was nervous, fidgety even, like he was constantly on the edge of collapsing into an epileptic event. An unexpected noise could probably make him leap for the ceiling like a cartoon cat. But every so often, all of that anxious energy would cease. A calm, almost serene demeanor would overtake him. I wasn't the superstitious type at the time, but seeing him switch modes like that was unnerving, just like now. Well, I'm not generally a superstitious person either, but yeah, maybe this guy is having visions of the future or something like that. I stopped smiling, seeing the shift in my friend. Dude, I said, becoming uncomfortable in his long, unblinking stare. It'll be okay, OP. Ouija said, his voice solid, unwavering. Just be honest, he continued. Not just with yourself, but with me, with Dolph, even the Duke. His eyes narrowed. You have to start soon, though, he added, and his tone became stern. Or you're gonna end up alone. Then, as suddenly as he had shifted before, he was back, Chihuahua shakes and all. I'm telling you, man, he's slipping into different time streams. We just Doctor Strange or something like that, I'm pretty sure. The only reason that he's so quivery and nervous looking is because he's exploring all the possible timelines. You remember that from the Doctor Strange movies? He's like, blah, blah, blah. His head's all go weird.
Strange, we all right?
Yeah, that's Ouija. What the hell was that about? I barked, louder than I intended.
Well, what was what?
He replied, just as loudly and also confused, but I let it drop. Dude, you're weird as hell. You know that? I said, and wobbled down the hall.
I know,
was all the response I got before I turned the corner towards my classroom. I wish you'd be nicer to that kid, FYREDRAKE. I know you have a lot of regrets about it nowadays, but he seems really down, you know? He knows who he is and he doesn't really care about being judged for it. I gotta give him props, at least for that. I am sorry this is getting on the long side, as I have to go back through both my memory and my journals, and more things keep popping up that I feel like I have to write down. Thank you, friends, for following along with me. I seem to remember owing you a cringe-worthy instance of burning somewhere uncomfortable, didn't I? Yeah, there it is. Right at the end of part 1. Damn. Stuck for now, I guess. Okay, hold on tight then. We are going to do an abridged afternoon. Alright, buckle in. We fast forwarding. I couldn't pay much attention to my afternoon classes. Both my elbow and knee were playing a tandem drum session on my pain receptors, to the point where it actually warranted the burning sweat that was pouring down my face. I managed to stifle any outbursts of agony, except when I accidentally slammed my injured elbow into a door while heading towards the bus ramp. Oof. Yeah, that's injury to injury. I limped the last agonizing quarter mile from where the bus dropped me and up the stairs to my room before collapsing on my bed. Yeah, nap time make it all better. It's gonna be fine. Or maybe not fine, but you survived today and you can survive tomorrow, goddammit. Again, there's more of that sports coach talk. Fast forward 30 minutes of listening to my knee and elbow hammer out the percussion portion of the Anvil chorus before I got up to do a little self-care. This would normally just involve a healthy dose of Advil PM, washed down with NyQuil, and a cold pack to the affected areas, but today I would add in the sweet release that I owed myself in the school bathroom before all that damage had been done to my battered body. Now don't do that. You're gonna need your energy. You're spilling precious resources into that sock. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, especially as a teenager, man. The weirdest things will trigger the urge. Remember option 3? Yeah, well for me, option 3 was a latex glove filled with warm Vaseline. Well, I mean, you could have just used your hand. He's out here like engineering stuff. Good God. The gloves were readily available from the bathroom, as my mom kept a box there for hair coloring and the like. The Vaseline I ostensibly kept on hand for using on my feet at night to keep my calluses from cracking. Oh, how my mom used to sing praise for me for using the Vaseline every night to take care of myself like an adult. Yeah, you was right about that, Mom. I'm dying, bro. I don't know if we needed to go down this path, but yes, this is the sort of cringe that I seek. So the trick with the Vaseline was to just warm it a little bit in the microwave. I kept some in a glass jam jar underneath my bed. I would then use my utensil to scoop out some of the now pleasantly warm petroleum jelly, insert it into the glove like so, and voila! Cue Happy Happy Joy Joy song from Ren and Stimpy.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy.
Wait, but what's the utensil you used to scoop it out? Oh, I see. Now, folks, because of my preoccupation with imbibing my pain cocktail, I put the jar in the microwave and typed the cook time without paying much attention. 40 seconds instead of 20 seconds. Yeah, he cooking up some napalm. Distracted by both Advil and NyQuil consumption, I only returned to the microwave after the acute succession of beeps announced, "It's ready! It's ready!" Ready to melt your dick off. I gripped the jar by threading where the lid would go with my left hand, feeling nothing but anticipation as I swiped the jar onto and around my tool piece. Let us now observe a moment of silence for the brave sacrifice that our brave, brave soldier made on that fateful day. Taps. Pain! Oh, so he's not dead. We don't have to bury him quite yet. He's in agonizing pain. Maybe he wishes he was dead. Oh no! My knee and elbow were now distant, forgotten dreams of pleasant moonlit walks and fields of lavender. Yes, pain, like nothing I had ever experienced throughout the entirety of my existence, brought me to both of my knees and lifted me into the air at the same time. Like I said, that's basically napalm, bro. You need to be careful with that stuff. The next few minutes are a blur, but I can remember sitting folded over in a bathtub full of cold water. Water as cold as I could make it. The only sweet release now being death due to spontaneous combustion of both my wang and my hairy boys. I spent the next 2.5 hours desperately trying to stay awake from the NyQuil and Advil PM knockout combo while waiting for hellfire to stop raging across my privates. Oh God, dude. The damage? Well, several small, barely noticeable blisters and one large, angry, bulbous pustule in the top near the tip. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts real bad. Oh, no, don't worry about it, ladies. It's just herpes. I don't want to admit to throwing napalm on my own ding-dong. It was about half the size of a dime, which, considering its location, was massive. Well, there you go. Even though the physical damage has long since mended, the emotional damage of what I inflicted upon my rise and shiner will forever haunt my dreams. But hey, I did deliver on my promise. I want a cookie. All right, I put the cookies inside the dumpster. Oh wait, the dumpster's on fire. Good God, what a dumpster fire. What have you done? Oh, man, that hurts me deep. Thanks for making it to the end of this part, folks. I know it was beefy, but I enjoyed writing, if not reliving, most of it with you. Stick around for part 3, where plans are made, broken, and then made again at the skating rink. Well, on the plus side, FYREDRAEKE is right. He did have kids eventually, so thumbs up there. You didn't completely burn it off, but yeah, I think this could have gone a lot worse than it did. I am sorry that you got bullied and such like that, but man, I'm just waiting for the clap back. Does it ever happen? Please tell me that it does. I need some catharsis regarding that. Yeah, I hope you get a date to the winter ball and all that stuff. But the bully arc is really what I'm invested in now. I want to see him get his comeuppance. Maybe you can offer him some tips on how to make a fifi at home. He's like, here's the rubber glove, here's the Vaseline, just stick it in the microwave for 5 minutes. And then, yeah, it's gonna be like a liquid, just pour it on your dong. It's gonna be fine. You'll love it. Then you'll probably have to change schools because, yeah, he is going to try to murder you after that point. Anyways, I do hope you enjoyed the story, friends. If you did, I hope you like, comment, and or subscribe. You know the things that we do. Maybe share the video around. That'd be cool too. Got all kinds of links in the description. Plugs, playlist, podcast, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Also the Teespring if you're trying to rock the merch. Yeah. We also got social medias. I did live stream this on Twitch, as I mentioned, but we've also got a Twitter and a Discord and even a Facebook that I use on occasion. I've also got my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous channel members, my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons, and I would like to thank them very much as I do every episode, so thank you too. Sean Cantwell, Heaven Sent, Robert Thibodeau, Jackie McQuitty, Grimstride, Train Boy, AJ Collins, Tiny Boy, Tooth Plushy, Valley, Corey Arts, Kelly Clark, Bedazzled Misery, Liquor Lush Loser, Florantic Flavor, Dungeon Bat, Billy D, Robert Waits, Terry Sepulveda, Brandon Ashcraft, John Endors, Phantom Danica, Orgamy Steve, Skylar May, Emera, The Gypsy Barber, FYREDRAEKE, Samantha, Death Flagship, Bearded Snake, Buy Two, Get One Hand. Heading over to Patreon, I would also like to thank Miss Black, Dark Luscious, Harley Hohen, Robert Waits, Camille Sarah, Chase the Blue Kraken, Roxanne Wolf, Sip Jerry, Conrad Inge, Captain Clown Jerry, Aaron Jerry, Deku, Esteban, Orgamy Steve, Santa Jerry, Silent Revolver, PCB, Fluxer, the Jerry of Industry, the original Jerry, Ravencraft, Pig Jerry, Destiny Piper, Jerry Kitsune, Salty Wizard, a very tired Jerry, yeah, I feel that, a Justy Jargonian Jerry, and Frankenberry, ain't that a hiding bitch though, Assassin Belt Jerry, Aurora Wildheart, Baby Jerry, Bailey Joy, Peter Jerry, Benji and the Jets, Billy D, Bitch Kremlin, Blade the Hero, Bronze Kraken, Catholic Jerry, Commander J Tank, Dr. Lux, Aaron Era, East Sparks, Frozen Over Studio, FYREDRAEKE, Get 2 at the Doodles, Commission Open No, Hadrian BR, Inquisitor Jerry, Irish Pirate, Iron Olive, Irradiated Jam, JM Coon, Jerry Smith, Jerry Blacktail, Jerry the Outlaw Mother Trunga, Jerry Maya was a bullfrog, John Hero, John Cahill, Crowley, Kelly Kraken, Lady Awakening, Glitch in the McGurf, Miss Monday, Lord Jerry-O, Leader of the Thunder Jerrys, Luke X was a race car driver, he was a good friend of mine, never did win that chicken flag, but I heard him drink his wine. I don't know how the rhythm goes, it's fine, like and subscribe. Well, Lady Dick, Smeldar the Destroyer, Metal Factor, Needless King 89, Paragon Soul, Phantom of the Pines, Jerkins and Jerry Beth, Queens, Quaaludes and Quagmires, Rose, Jerry Miller, Surrey to the Lolita, Saucy Octopus, Scarlet Kevin, Sergeant Gate Cop, Bringer of the Law, Silo Wimp, Steampunk Ellie, Stephanie Goodness, Synaptic Boomstick, Brilliant Tomato, Tapioca Balloons, the Gypsy Barber, the Italian Greyhound Dino, the Little Sue, who are you Fusky? Try to find another bottle to get back in the real world. You probably don't want to blow into that balloon now. This is a sticky balloon. Vanguard Angel, VC3, Viking Jerry, Void the Comet Destroyer, Wiki Tech, Zephyr Gargoyle or Clay, Commodore Mooney, Kira, not another Jerry, but he is though, Cage Alex 9, Redwind, Bad Penny Lane, Naga Viper, Saint Blessing, Third Stuff, Venom Jerry, Wasabi Jerry, Jace Christensen, One Leg Jerry has returned from battle. Oh, salute to you, a normal Jerry. I got what's next? We got popcorn, savory, chocolate pretzels, chips, no Doritos, and soda, no Mountain Dew. Any takers? I need my Doritos, son. Admiral T-Tech, Amber Alder, another stupid hipster, Atomic Jerryzilla, Breaker of the Tom Army, Bartender Keelia, Big Dad Wolf, Broken Spine Horseradish, Cake Jerry, the original, different Jerry, California Jerry, Go Shepherd 7 Lot, Chicana Panda, Corey Does Art, sometimes, Cowabunga Cody, Cryptides, the Fod Jerry, Dr. Tuna, Dilf Jerry, Dopamine Day Jerry is Dwarfy Dude, Dwarven Ramsey, half the calories, all the hate. Is that a throwback to the stories about Kevin with Supermarket? That's beautiful. Ghost of Alpha, Greymon 365, he cannot. Hydra Jerry Solon, Janitor Jerry's roaming the streets of Finland, hunting down the Rudo headband. Jasmine, Jeffrey, Geralt of Rivia, Jerry and Tom versus Happy New Year's, we have the apocalypse. Jerry, vote 2 S's and E. Jerry Springer, the resulter, and you are not the neckbeard. Jerry the Sussy Baka, Jerry's mom has got it going on. Jerry Older Rivera, Jerry Rocksters, Jerry Roleplaying Game, Keaton Tails, Kid Marvelous, Kid Lucia Lovecraft, Machia CD. Maybe next time, Milkfed Gift, Miss Duchess, Mr. Gas Mask, Not Invisible Angel, Raptor Art, Selden Dark, Sky Mara, Ravenswood, Smegmobile, Greg Set, Jerry, getting that cheese. God. Thanks, I hate it. Snob Jerry. That's Snary if you didn't know. Spoonie the Rogue, Spoop is Gary, Jerry Ton, Techno Dubs, the original Jerry. They call me Jerry Two Knives. Jerry Pie. I don't get it. I'm sorry. To Infinite Jerry and beyond. Unkale. Throws 2 liter Mountain Dew. Grow my neckbeard, grow. It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher. Hygiene. It's Jerry time. Holds ReddX Morpher. Humility. And thank you to my $1 patrons as well. Bless up all the Jerrys and not Jerrys alike. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel in the way that you do. If you can afford monetarily to support, that's huge. If you can't, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. In order to do so, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoyed today. Maybe like, I don't know, watching some more ReddX videos. That didn't sound like I didn't know. That sounded exactly like I knew, which I did. Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, friends, bye-bye.